Welcome everybody, my name is Michael and today we are discussing about Capital One. This is something I've been waiting for a long time. I just want to mention that quick update as to how I'm feeling. I lost my sense of taste and I lost, most importantly, my sense of smell. So parts of my taste is still here, but my smell completely gone. It is very strange. As of yesterday, I felt that, I can't really smell stuff. Like, what's going on? And today it's completely gone. I took some very pungent stuff and nothing. Took a bottle of vodka, nothing. It's a very unique feeling. Anyways, so with Capital One, this is a bank that I've been trying for a long time. And unfortunately, I lost 3 points due to my sheer dumb mistake. I'm going to reveal what it was. Lo and behold, I initially applied and went through the pre-qualification. This was a couple months back. And towards the very beginning of the year, maybe even in December, quite a while back actually, and I went through the pre-qualification. They said, okay, it looks like you're good to go, and that's how I'm going for all of these cards. I don't want to lose points, so I always go through their pre-qualification. If someone says, nope, you're rejected, that's it. That's perfect. I love it. Thank you so much. I didn't lose any points, and I understand that there's always a risk that you might not get approved regardless, but Capital One is a great card, especially when you're rebuilding your credit. That's exactly why I want them. I already have Discover. Cap One was my next site. I have my auto loan, the Volvo that I'm sitting in right now. I've paid off almost a year now with Capital One. It's going to be a year next month. So I'm sure I've built a good relationship with them, obviously, because they overlooked the fact that I had a previous credit card that I didn't pay off with them. Now, of the 4 credit cards that I didn't pay off, one went to a collection, one was with Credit One. I don't know why I went with Credit One, because they're terrible, and they're the only one who reported their collection, and the collection was reported a year after, so I could have had 4 years remaining instead of 5 for it to drop off my credit right now. And it was one of the smallest amounts, and they added the most amount of fees, where American Express added no fees whatsoever, and they're still to this day sending me plans, which I have no money to pay off with, but they're still sending me crazy plans, $300, $400 a month, but no interest plans, and that's a pretty cool thing. The first year, they never even reported late payments, and I had a 0% interest payment plan with them. The reason all 4 of my cards I was unable to pay them off is because I have debts in both Poland and the United States of America due to the fact that I lost a lot of my cryptocurrency investments many years back. So in the 2018 crash, that's when I lost it wasn't really a fortune in America, but for Poland it was a fortune. It was a fortune to me. And I could have lived a very good life, and I lost it all. And I went majorly in debt because I decided to be very greedy. And instead of taking out my money at the first sign of trouble, I thought, oh, it's going to come back. Everything is fine. Let's double down. Let's go into crypto 100%. And I had previous rules that I didn't follow, and that's how 4 cards fell. So Capital One, unfortunately, was one of those 4, and I lost trust in that relationship. My credit score went down, and now it's been a very long journey to try and rebuild my credit, and that's why I'm so excited that Capital One accepted me. However, they could have accepted me a lot earlier, because you know what was that mistake that I did? I spelled my name wrong. And it didn't match. And I almost spelled it wrong again. You know why? It's because the way they phrased it, for some reason, when I took a look at after the pre-qualification page, after you have to input more details, I almost put in the exact same stuff that I did the first time, and it didn't look wrong. You know why? It's because it's my actual name, but it was my last name for my first name and my first name for the last name. And after I got denied, I called Capital One, and they said, oh, that's why you got denied. It's actually a discrepancy. You should probably be good to go if you just flip it around. But at that point, I decided, you know what, it's better to wait because I can't risk it. I already lost 3 points. And here we are many months later, and I did the opposite this time, and I did get approved. But I did lose 3 points again. So those first 3 points, well, could have helped my score a little bit more. I probably would have gotten the card then. And it's a very small amount. It's the absolute lowest of the low. It's the MasterCard, the Platinum the Platinum, which, unlike American Express, it's just a base model. Now, it doesn't have any fees, which is absolutely fantastic, because now I have 3 credit cards, one of which is secured, the Open Sky, which I want that $200 back, so I'm going to close it, but I already paid the fee for this year. Sorry, about to cough. So I decided that I'm going to hang on to it for another year, and it's also upping the age of my accounts because it is the first credit card. So I'm going to keep it up until I have a couple more credit cards. And now, yes, my score will go down temporarily because of the initial inquiry and the fact that the age of my accounts goes down. But altogether, all of my accounts now, this will be number 10, at least what is reported. I know there's been more for the closed and open accounts, but there's going to be 10, which 11 or 10 is the magic number that it does increase. And then if the age increases, then overall that is one of the 6 factors as well for your credit score slowly increasing. So that's fantastic. With Capital One, when I applied, they said the scores are all different through Credit Karma. I did it when I was at 620 and 625 across the 2, TransUnion and what was it, Experian or whatever. And through the FICO score that Capital One stated, it was a 614, so lower, definitely what I expected in terms of the fact that it's lower, but it's still pretty high compared to when I applied for a auto FICO loan. It was a completely different story where they said, oh, you're 550. That's like, so FICO score doesn't really mean much because it can be 50 points difference, it can be 10 points difference, it can be 5 points difference, whether it's a Vantage score, whether it's a FICO 8, FICO 9, auto FICO. There's different FICOs for everything, for renting and mortgages and for cars. Those are going to be the ones where you find the most amount of discrepancies, and I understand that I'm a lower score on those, so that's fine. But for credit cards, they give you higher scores, and that's always good. So 614, I'm okay with that. I know my score is going to rise now. After 6 months, the Capital One card, as long as I don't mess up, will increase automatically. Now, whether it increases to the limit, which is from $300 to $500, or whether it goes a little higher, I'd love to go a little higher. But either way, knowing that with 5 successful payments after the 5th one registers, so 6 months from now, this is part of the credit first steps for Capital One, at least I'll have a minimum of $500. That's great to know. Maybe it goes up to $750. Others have stated that after a couple months, within another 6 months or so, that it usually does increase another step further. So maybe at that point it'll be $1,000 or $2,000. Sometimes people have said that it's a crazy jump, so a couple thousand, but usually that's probably better credit situations. So unless my credit score increases a lot, which it will increase over the next year, but probably not a lot because it's been very slow right now. Super slow, snail's pace over the past year. I'm excited with what I have for now. So 3 credit cards that altogether with the secured have a $1,000 limit. It's nothing crazy. The Discover's the big boy of them all with the $500. But I understand that Discover is still a new card because it turned unsecured relatively new, not too long ago, 2, 3, 4 months back. And I understand that within the next 2-3 months or so, I might be able to get another credit limit increase. So a credit limit increase would be perfect because it gives me more trust, having more credit, more trust, and also it increases the chances that I'm going to have low utilization. Right now, I'm using these cards a lot. I'm always maxing them out, but they're maxed out and then they're paid off. Paid off completely before the statement hits. So with Capital One, I read that that's the perfect strategy, that you got to use it as much as you can, pay it off, maybe pay it off multiple times a month before that statement hits. Maybe do the all but zero strategy, all zeros except for one. There we go. That's the one. So now with 3 cards, it's going to be a little bit easier to try that out. Number one thing is, again, $0 fee, unlike Open Sky. And the percentage isn't great, but for credit cards, especially for where I'm at, 26.9% is fine because, again, I'm going to be paying it off, so I don't really care. It's lower than my personal loans, so that's a good thing. Honestly, instead of having personal loans, I'd love to have a $5,000 line of revolving credit. I think that's absolutely necessary for situations like right now where I did test positive with COVID and I'm pretty sick and I'm out a week of work. So probably lost a good $1,000 or so, maybe even more with opportunity costs. Plus I have to pay for medicine. And if something happened even worse from now, 2 months ago, I had back issues. Still have back issues, but I couldn't walk. A week off from work over there. There's been other times I get sick 3-4 times a year. I've got teeth problems now. I mean, there's a ton of problems. I got hearing problems. There's always stuff that can happen, and I'm just praying for my car to be fine. So it's like, I hope not another crisis happens, but having an emergency credit card when you don't have an emergency fund, when you do have a decent income, that's when it starts to get bad. When you're making $2,000 a month and you have $10,000 in credit cards and you have trouble paying them off. For me, it's more so I just have a lot of stuff to pay right now. I have 2 lawyers. I've got old debts that I'm paying off. I've got a lot of bills. I am doing good on that. My credit score is increasing slowly but surely. So as long as I keep working, yes, it's extremely stressful right now, but I'm extremely happy because it might be small, but this Capital One card will unlock the doors for me to get other cards, higher limits. And I know that 6 months from now, it's going to be higher limit anyways, whether it's a small increase or not. Someone said later on, you can do an executive increase. You write to the executive of Capital One. You might get $2,000, $3,000, whatever it is. That'd be perfect. Just knowing that worst case scenario next year, I will be better set than this year. That's perfect. And again, number one thing, pay your bills. I'll pay off these cards. I just want to raise my score. That's it. I want to raise my score so I can be set. If I want a mortgage, if I want a car loan, I'll be all good. Anyways, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Again, it's crazy because they're a good company. I had a debt before and they accepted me now. So finally things are going the positive way. Have a great rest of your day. Take care and bye.